Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Strong Draws. Today, I will be doing a quick sketch of Old Man Logan. And holy shit, it's been a long time since I've done this. I want to say to everyone that's subscribed and to my followers, I'm sorry it took so long. There's been a lot of things going on in life, and I just haven't had really time to get them done. I had some technical difficulties with my computer there for a while. I mean, after the last episode I did, which I don't even know how long ago that was, there was a time where I was doing some work where I couldn't share what I was working on there for a while, and then ended up due to certain circumstances in my life, I had to go back to a normal 9 to 5 kind of day job, which actually is like 7 to 6, 8 to 6 day job. Um, so it's just been real difficult. Excuse me, trying to find time to sit down and do this. And on top of that, I do have a very long list of commissions that I should probably be working on instead of this. And I want to say off the bat, if any of the people who have ordered commissions from me, I'm very sorry it's taking me so long to get to them. I have not forgot about you, and I will get them finished. It's just taking a lot longer than anticipated just because of, again, like I said, I had to go back to a day job, and I don't get to do this 12 to 14 hours a day like I used to. I'm down to maybe 2 because I work. I got an hour 15 commute either way. Yeah, either way, 2.5 hours a day, and then I work a 10-hour shift. I do that 5 to 6 days a week. So it's just I come home at the end of the night, and it's a very physically demanding job. So it's just sometimes I'm tired and don't have the energy to sit and draw. And if I do, it's not for very long. Like I said, maybe an hour, 2 hours. A really good night, 3. And so it's slowed me down a bit, and again, I'm really sorry. I do have you on the list. I have not forgot about you, and I will get to them eventually. I really appreciate your patience, and I'm, again, really sorry it's taking so long. So kind of the whole point of this thing is, like I said, even though there are commissions I should have been working on instead of doing this sketch, I had kind of a really rough day. It's been kind of a really strange couple months, to be honest with you, and yesterday was not a very good day for me. And I think, at least for me, drawing is kind of a zen exercise to a certain extent. It's something I do, or something when I do it, I kind of lose myself in it. I'm able to kind of focus and essentially center myself. I don't mean it to sound so do wavy, but it kind of is. It's I think at least the artists I know, we are all very much control freaks, and when there's things that happen in life that remove that control, drawing is where we go to regain that and kind of, again, just kind of center yourself and process stuff. So that's kind of what this was for me. Like I said, it's been a weird couple months. And yesterday was pretty rough. So I just needed a couple hours to sit and sketch and not worry about so much the end result. I mean, for me, this Logan is a pretty simple, standard sketch that I do. It's a very similar pose that I draw a lot, so. But it was just something I needed to do to kind of regain that control that I felt I didn't have, I guess, at a certain point yesterday. So it was just one of those things that, again, and it's something I might start doing a little bit more of, because, again, life's getting more and more complicated and murky, and it's just this is what calms me down, this is what focuses me, this is what centers me, and gives me some sense of control in certain aspects of my life. So I'll probably, maybe I'll turn the recorder on more often when I'm doing that, and get kind of this stuff out to you guys a little bit more. Again, I'm sorry I was gone for so long, but yeah. The reason I chose Old Man Logan is I had just recently saw Logan finally. I mean, a buddy of mine lent it to me, and I always something I intended to see, it just never got around to doing so. And so I thought, what the hell, I'll do this today. And like I said, it's just a sketch. There's things that are kind of off about it and here and there, but it was just, again, a kind of a thing where I didn't have to sit and stress about the end result, and just kind of have some fun and try some new things out and see what just kind of see what came out. So, and as you'll, like I said, it's been a while, so I mean, those of you that have seen some of my older videos, I would do these kind of pencils, and then I would jump into Manga Studio and do all my inking. And for those, just so you know, in case again you haven't seen some of my older stuff, I'm using a Cintiq 12WX, and I'm in Photoshop CC, and I got pencil brushes and stuff like that. But the thing that's going to be different about this video, and kind of something I've migrated towards over the past 4 or 5 months at least, is I don't do inking anymore. I always saw inking as a necessary evil, I guess, to a certain extent, something I needed to learn because I had to, not because I wanted to. And it is a very different set of skills to be an inker over a penciler. And I guess for the work I'm trying to create, my inking skills are not up to snuff, at least in my opinion. Different people might view that differently, but I wasn't getting the results I wanted from the inks. And so what I started doing is, instead of inking, is I just use I start by sketching with what would essentially be a gray pencil tone, and then I do black over top. So basically it's like drawing with a black colored pencil or Conte crayon to do the final line art. And I think it just retains the textures a little bit more. I have a little bit more control over it for some reason. Again, inking was never a goal of mine to be good at. It's just something I kind of started to learn how to do because I felt I needed to do it. But I've always felt I was a stronger penciler than inker, and this kind of gives me the best of both worlds, where I can retain that texture that comes with pencils and kind of some of the imperfections, I guess, because when you're using a brush and a pen, especially when you're doing it digitally, you get very crisp, clean lines and very definitive shapes, I guess. But with pencil, the lines aren't quite so uniform. They're not. I mean, if you work really hard, you can make them that way, but I don't necessarily see the need for it. And I just think the end results are a lot better, and at least for my work. And when you do color, and when I do color, sometimes seeing that color fade through the solid blacks gives me a certain kind of different look. I mean, I've always been a fan of pencil art over inked art most of the time. I mean, there's exceptions to every rule, and I think there's amazing inkers out there that are able to what's the word? Capture what I'm talking about as far as the pencil lines and whatnot, but I'm just not one of them. So, but like when I really got into comics and comic art, I was looking at stuff like Mike Turner. I was a big Mike Turner fan, which I'm sure I've mentioned on here countless times. Which after his initial Fathom run, I mean, he did Witchblade, he did Fathom, where he had inkers, but I think at a certain point after that, I know especially when he did Soulfire, when he did the Batman, Superman, Rebirth of Supergirl, I don't think he had an inker anymore. So that, and I saw some of Joe Madureira's stuff where he was just doing pencils with color and no inks, and it's just something about that look that has always really intrigued me. So that's where I've kind of moved my art style towards, if you will, is just these pencils. And really more often than not I hear, and I've heard this for years, is like when I was penciling earlier and didn't ink and would just do it on paper and scan it in, everybody would comment on how good the inks were when there were never any inks. So like I said, it's working for me right now. Maybe I'll get back to inks later, or go back to it, or maybe learn, become better at it. But for right now, I don't really see that happening. I kind of enjoy this look I've been getting out of just using pencils and whatnot. So yeah, and so just doing some rendering here and there. And again, this is something I've kind of been playing with over the past few months, is trying to learn hatching, cross-hatching, and all this rendering stuff. And it's still something I'm working on, still getting used to. I think looks better than it used to, which, I mean, you do anything long enough, eventually you're going to hopefully get good at it. So you'll see, I'll go in there, I'll erase it quite a bit here and there, but I keep trying to find this nice balance between giving it enough visual interest and texture and not trying to go overboard with it. So, because there's even styles that I like where there's no rendering and it's just basically, I don't want to say coloring book style because it's so much better than a coloring book, but kind of that look where it's just basically just line weights and line drawing instead of any rendering or solid blacks or anything like that. But there's part of me that's always kind of wanted to do that, but for some reason I sit down and it just doesn't feel finished to me or doesn't look right, and then that's just, again, in my my work, not in them. Again, there's artists out there that are very, very good at it. And maybe that's something I might work towards a little more in the future someday, but for right now I'm kind of enjoying doing all this rendering. But it looks like we're kind of coming to the end of the video. I'm actually about to head out and go see Spider-Man. So, again, I'm sorry it took so long to get another video out. Hopefully I can do this a little bit more here and there. Like I said, it's something that I might start doing more just because I need to take some time for myself and do just kind of fun sketching for no reason other than the joy of it. So, thanks for watching, everyone. As always, you can follow me here on YouTube or Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Twitter and Instagram, you get to see a lot more kind of sketches and daily updates, where Facebook is a little bit more finished product and news of what's coming up in my life and as far as work I'm putting out and so on and so forth, because I got some announcements coming up. But until then, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.